Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this webinar on the Masters in Real Estate program here at Pepperdine Graziadio. My name is Samantha. I'm the Recruitment Advisor for this program, and I have the pleasure of being joined by Dr. Abraham Park, the Associate Dean of Full-Time Programs and Master Creator of this program.
Yes.
And I am also joined by Youssef, who is a current MSRE student who is set to graduate this coming August. We're going to talk a little bit about the program, answer some questions. I wanted to remind you that this will be recorded. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box. We'll get to them once we're at the end, and you have all three of us. Please don't be shy. Go ahead. I know, Dr. Park, you had some changes to the curriculum and some updates that you wanted to give everyone. So go ahead and start that.
Sure. I just wanted to first give you a quick update or the overview of the program. I'm excited to meet you in the near future. If you haven't decided to come, I really hope that you would come. It's a great program that I believe in, that we all strongly believe in. And so I'm thankful for this opportunity. So I want to share a few slides with you to go over a general structure of the program. First of all, I will like to show you what happens in the fall term, spring term, and then summer term. So let's talk about that first. In the fall term, first week, you'll be taking a quant or Excel workshop in week one. This is a 1-unit course to cover a lot of the financial basics and Excel basics that you'll be using throughout the fall courses. Along with that, you'll be also participating in what we call a behavioral workshop, but it's generally a team building workshop weekend where all the students in the cohort will be joined by our behavioral faculty, and we'll be spending time getting to know each other and finding out what your strengths are, weaknesses are, and how to build a team. So in the first week, that will be what you'll be doing together. And starting from week 2 going up till week 12 for 11 weeks, you'll be taking 4 core courses, 3 units each. First course is Real Estate Principle, Markets, and Economics, generally covering all the principles of real estate market studies, and real estate economics. The other course you'll be taking is Real Estate Finance 1. This is to cover all the finance essentials for real estate analysis and for underwriting and for valuation. And the third course is Legal Issues in Real Estate. This covers a variety of legal topics and issues that arise in a real estate transaction or real estate development that's covered by our faculty, who is a lawyer and who's also a developer. And then the fourth, which we find to be very, very necessary in studying the topics in our second term is accounting. So this is a basic accounting course that's geared towards real estate and also some taxation issues that arise in real estate. So these are the 4 courses covered in the fall term. And along with these courses, at the end of finishing these 4 core courses is a 2-week intensive Argus course to help you get familiar with using Argus for your investment analysis, as well as other type of analysis you might find that many companies end up using, and they require Argus training for their real estate analysts. Along with the Argus training, we will have an elective contemporary issues in real estate course going at the same time throughout the term. This is a credit, no credit course, and it's a flexible course in the sense that we change topics each year. So this year's topic will be a topic of project management and construction. This is essentially a prep course to prepare you for the development course, which is covered in the spring term. And so these make up your units. So if you were to do all the required courses, that adds up to 16 units. If you do the elective, which I strongly encourage you to do the elective, that will be 18 units. But the elective course will be credit, no credit. So that academic pressure, any career work, just to get you prepared for the job market throughout the term. Next, going to a spring course structure. When you come back to the school, the first week you'll be doing a negotiations workshop. And this upcoming year, we plan to do a conflict management in construction specifically, and we'll be using we will have an expert in this area. Negotiation, conflict resolution is a huge skill that's needed in real estate, and we would like to give you an introduction to that in the first week of the spring course. And then you enter once again 4 core courses, which are 3 units each. First course is Real Estate Finance 2, which is an extension of Real Estate Finance 1 from the fall term. The topics will include a lot of the securitized real estate, waterfall structures, syndications, as well as REITs and commercial mortgage-backed securities. Then the next class will be Real Estate Financial Modeling. This is sort of an in-depth programming of real estate financial models that you should definitely know before going to the job market. Third is a real estate development class. And then the fourth will be a general investments and portfolio management class. Real estate is actually one of the asset classes that exist out there, and understanding where real estate fits in the overall investment portfolio is a really required knowledge to work in the commercial real estate space. We will also be offering a contemporary real estate course, which will be still a flexible course. The topics can range from leasing to property management, but that will be selected in the fall term depending on need. Along with that, at the end of the term, we have 2 weeks in which we will fulfill a couple more requirements. One of them is a global business trip to an international location. Each year we try to change the location, and this is usually an exciting time of the year. People get to experience real estate, understand real estate from outside of our local perspective. That adds up to 16 to 17 units going into the summer term. So summer term is made up of more or less internship requirement that we have, 1 to 2 units. Or if you decide not to do an internship, we have a client-based course, what we call an E2B course, which you can do instead of an internship. Or if you want to do both, you're obviously welcome to do both. So this year we had more of a hospitality client, project developer, and you would do as a class. Essentially, it's an experiential learning experience with an actual client. Along with that, you would have a couple of electives that you can choose to do or not to do. Overall, you need 34 units to graduate from this program and an average GPA of 3.0. Graduation is generally scheduled at the end of the summer. In our case, it will be August of 2020. Okay, and finally, just a couple of recommendations before coming to this program is to take an Intro Excel class online. I think that would be hugely helpful before coming to our week 1. The more you know of Excel is going to help with all of the courses that you'll be doing. And second, Argus software runs only on a PC. So please be aware, all those Mac users, that you're going to have to use Parallel or something like that if you want to install the Argus software. And then third, be excited. I believe in this program. This is going to be probably the best experience that you'll have, hopefully, that we would like for you to have. So I look forward to meeting all of you when you come. So that's my short introduction, and I'll leave it to Samantha for any kind of Q&A, and also for Joseph to share in his experiences.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was very informative. It's a good thing that you told them to get a PC, since I'm a Mac user myself. So I wouldn't have known.
Well, they don't need a PC, but they need to get something to run on Argus software. Yes.
So that's a good tip. So I'm going to start off with some questions. There's different questions for each of you depending on what a lot of prospective students ask me. So I'll start, and I'll definitely address both of you, but just be genuine and give us your honest answers. But the first question I have for you, Dr. Park, is Why did you start this program?
My background, I was an attorney, and I worked in finance, I worked in consulting, and I also worked in real estate. And I've taught a lot of courses in finance and also in executive MBA. But at the end of the day, I recognized the importance of real estate and the possibilities and the opportunities that the real estate area can give to our students. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, all of the world's wealth eventually gets stored in real estate. And knowing and understanding how real estate works is such an important part of wealth building for our students. And earlier you do is better, basically, because for real estate, you need time. And I felt like having a program to give our students opportunities early on sometimes is more valuable than having a general MBA course. So even though I teach in the MBA course, I believe that real estate everyone is involved in real estate, whether you know it or not. And that was sort of the motivation. And I ended up getting a real estate finance PhD and working in real estate. And that just only confirmed what my belief in this. And I've met just a lot of billionaires in my life, and happens to be most of them are real estate billionaires. And I recognize and realize that there's a lot of opportunity for an average person. Average person in this area can do very, very well, including my parents. They're immigrants, but they succeed in real estate. It's an opportunity that's available for many, many immigrants and for anyone out there. And so I believe that this is a growing area, especially in Southern California, that it's an area of opportunity.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real estate in Southern California is quite a diverse.
It is, and it's going to stay that way. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this program is new, and Yusuf, you are part of the second cohort. How did you hear about this program?
Honestly, I was working in an industry that I wasn't particularly interested in, and I looked at different programs online, just searching, and the programs that came up were a lot of schools in Southern California. I wanted to come to Southern California because that's where I would want to primarily do business if I were to come to the States. And this program, I looked at the curriculum, and it was very finance driven, which I liked. Other programs aren't as much, so that kind of drew me into the program. So I'm glad I did it. Very good.
Glad you got in, and you talk about it's mostly finance. So Dr. Park, how do you decide what you put on the curriculum?
Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot of things you can learn while working in the field of real estate, and there are things that have to be taught if you're going to take an actual master's level course. A lot of people who are in real estate, they actually know one area of real estate really well. Mm-hmm. And even though they want to learn the sort of overall real estate and all the skills that they wish they had, it's not that easy to learn while at work. So it could be marketing or sales or development, various things. So in constructing a master's level academic course where you want to learn the stuff that you have to learn at school, the courses have to have some real technical financial skills, I think. And also, real estate is a very wide field. You could be sales, you can sell houses, you can be a broker, you can be a developer, you can be in finance, you can be in banking. And so it's something that I believe that every field that you go into in real estate really requires a solid real estate finance skill. And if you have that, you can work in any area of real estate. So if you're going to spend a year to learn your skills, I felt the importance of learning finance. So if you just learn development or construction, or I also taught in construction courses, master's level courses before, or project management, these are important skills, but when you're going to come to school, I felt like this is where you learn your financials and finance modeling, and to really have that foundation. So that was kind of the rationale behind that. Mm-hmm. A lot of different programs out there, they all say real estate, but oftentimes they're part of what's called urban planning department, which is more policy zoning, those are all necessary, but ours is in the business school. So business school is usually focuses on the finance aspect of it. And I wanted our program to have that finance rather than planning or zoning or public policy aspect of real estate. And I feel like if you learn all the skills in finance, then you can go into any area. So why not do that? And I've studied all the other master's programs out there and decided this is what we want to do. And this is what I think will give most value to our students.
So now, Youssef, you've heard Dr. Park say you've got all the skills. You can go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
What do you hope for your career?
I hope to take these skills and apply them. And I particularly like development. So these skills, and have a family business, and I can apply these skills right away into deals that we're going to be working on. So for my career, I hope to hopefully one day start my own development company based in Southern California, doing business primarily in Southern California. Yeah, I do think you feel more capable after the program to do that. You get the confidence to do that.
Yeah. And how is this program, now that you're about to complete it, how is it going to help you accomplish those career goals?
I think by using the network that I've built with a lot of the cohort, a lot of people are in wide areas of real estate. Some people are in construction, some people are looking more into hospitality, some people are looking more into industrial. Feel like those connections that I made and the professors who help you quite a bit wherever you need like any guidance or anything, they have an open door policy. You can just walk in and talk to them.
That's true.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like that is invaluable. That's a part of it that's invaluable, and I think that will help me propel my career forward, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Park, you mentioned this global trip that we do abroad. So I know you mentioned a little bit in your slides, but can you go into why we built this global trip? Because some prospective students get a little nervous.
So I've worked in the US, in Asia, and also in Europe. And I believe that real estate is actually it's a global asset class. And for us to just think, I'm just going to build a house here and build a 2-unit place here is one perspective. But to understand real estate from a different culture, different economic view, and different kind of understanding of what real estate means to the community, these are very local. And allowing to have a global perspective and a global experience will actually open our eyes in what we want to create here locally. And I believe real estate global perspective is really important. Financing is very different depending on where you go. Construction is very different wherever you go. Zoning is very different. The values are different. And I think within a 1-week trip, usually a fabulous trip, to see that and learn that, it really opens the eyes.
Yeah.
And I feel like having worked in these 3 different continents, I feel like this is something that our students should have. And so we've included it as part of our program. Okay. And we try to pick a different location each year. And I think this upcoming year, we plan to go to Oxford and go to UK. London, Oxford will be our location.
That'll be fun. It's quite a departure from what we did this past year.
We
went to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So weather-wise, yes. So Youssef, you went on the trip to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and Youssef has a interesting factoid about that because he has lived in Abu Dhabi. So it was for him almost like a homecoming. But I wanted to know, what did you gain from that global trip?
Well, for me, I spent half my life in the UAE. So to go when I was here, the first thing I heard was we're going on a global trip. I was like, that's amazing. And they're like, okay, we're going to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I'm like, okay, I'm going back home. I'm going to see my family. And I didn't expect to take much from it. I was like, I'm probably going to see more of the same of what I already know. But when we went, it was a completely different experience than what I would have thought. We were able to meet with companies and kind of get a deeper understanding as to what's going on there. And and how values are created there and how the market works in general, which is completely different than what you have here. And I think most people that went on the trip with us, they were not sure what they would see and how different it really is. But when they actually went, they saw the subtle nuances in the way that people do business there. So I think a lot of people took a lot away from that. And I think it was an excellent experience, to be honest.
I agree. I was on the trip with you.
Yes.
So I did see that transformation from the beginning of the week to the end of the week. I did want to make a note that the cost associated with the global trip is included as part of the tuition. So the only thing that students have to pay out of pocket is their flight, which of course we all have control over that, whether you book early or use miles, you have control over how much you want to pay for the flight. And then the rest of it is included. So meals, you've got the hotel, lots of fun activities are included too. Switching, a little bit from this fantastic global trip. So Dr. Park, you mentioned some of the careers that our alums can expect to go into. What are some of our current alums doing that you're aware of?
So a lot of them come to the real estate program usually having an idea of what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the opportunities come up, they, if it's not within their what they aspire to do, maybe they'll pass up. But because of that, we have a lot of people working just different areas of real estate. But real estate is one of the sort of broadest areas of opportunities out there. So some of them they want to be a developer, but developer usually requires initial real estate development farm experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that requires you to have a development analyst type of skills and experience.
Yeah.
But apart from that, you can go into investments, more on the equity side. You can go into the finance side with banking. You can also be, own your own business.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them their dream is to be either a private equity investor or to be a developer.
Mm-hmm.
But there are different ways to get there. It's not just one way. And also there are different kind of areas and segments of real estate that they're interested in. It could be industrial, which is really hot. Apartments, everybody wants apartments in Southern California because it's going to hold value for a long time. Retail is just changing in its nature. And so that's really exciting as well. And a lot of the old, sort of box retail stores are going to be converted into more value-added, different kind of uses. So there are a lot of different areas that people are interested in. Some of them want to go into manufactured homes, which I think is also going to be really, really exciting going forward. And a lot of them decide to go and do this where they're from, whether it's East Coast, West Coast. So we're pretty broad or international.
Yeah.
So, but it's big and it's wide, and a lot of opportunities come our way, whether it's internships through connections or the people they know, or sometimes family. Yeah. So I would say generally there's the equity side, there's the finance, the debt side, as well as development as well, and also sales and marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all possible in here. What we try, this program though is not geared towards regular sort of homes and houses. These are for generally commercial real estate. So you have to be aware of that. Most of the course content is geared toward commercial real estate, and that's what a master's degree is useful to get a job and get a career in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like how you're not pigeonholed. You don't have to be a broker. You don't have to be a developer. Mm-hmm. You really can you can take the skills and apply them anywhere. And
Southern California happens to be you just have a lot of small, medium, large real estate companies. And there's a lot of real estate tech companies, which is also a big growing area. They're all gathered here in Southern California. So real estate technology will also be a big growing sector. So. Great. Mm-hmm.
So UCEF, you don't have to say Dr. Park's class, but unless it's true.
Yeah.
But
what
has been your favorite class?
I think I'll premise my answer by saying everybody had different classes that they liked within the cohort. And I think it was more when they felt they learned a lot in terms of where they felt they had gaps in knowledge. Okay. And for me, it just happened to be in legal issues and zoning and things like that. So it was actually the legal issues class that I actually learned quite a bit. It was very intense, wasn't easy, but the amount of knowledge that you gain by going through PSAs and LOIs and trying to look at all of the subtle details within doing a development project or any project for that matter. And it was just an eye-opening experience. And it was, I feel like I took a lot away from that. And personally, I think that's one of the most important things is getting those legal documents down. And so yeah, that was one of my favorite classes.
That's good.
But I love Dr. Park's class.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I did.
Got to put that in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Dr. Park comes from the background of a lawyer, so I'm sure you're glad to hear that the real estate law class is a favorite among the students.
Yeah, so these are all really important issues, so we try to cover as broad and deep as we can.
Yeah.
And to cover all of our bases.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
Dr. Park, we did touch on your background a little bit of, you were a lawyer and I know you have multiple degrees from many fantastic institutions. What is the background of some of the other professors that teach in the MSRE program?
Sure. So I think we try to have a variety of mix, including a lot of guest speakers that come in from the industry. But as part of the core teaching class, you need to have PhD. So we have me, I teach real estate finance, real estate finance topics. And so I teach the finance course, and we have Dr. Don Kim, who was a software programmer and also has a real estate finance PhD. So he'll be handling a lot of the quant and modeling courses, skills that I think we require. And we also have accounting. So we have an accounting faculty who will be teaching accounting and some taxation, as well as legal issues. The legal issues as an attorney who's a developer and who's also a CEO now of a real estate technology company teaching that course. We also have a professional who's teaching our Argus software. So that kind of covers the fall term. And then the spring term, once again, I teach the finance class, and we have Dr. Steve Gibson, who also has a PhD in real estate development and on the design side. And he covers the design, zoning, planning, development. And that covers a development class for the students. We also have one of our PhD faculties teaching investments and portfolio management. His career has been in investment and portfolio management, hedge fund, and options. And so what he does is he gives us a great perspective on where real estate fits in with all the other investment classes, asset classes, and how to value investments alongside with how to value stocks and bonds and options. And so I think that gives all the students a great perspective. If they ever want to work in a banking area or portfolio management, this will give them a great overview as to what they need to understand. And Dr. Kim teaches our real estate financial modeling and technology. So we also have some alums working in the real estate tech sector who will also be coming in and speaking. Negotiations, we'll use our law school. We have a #1 institute here, Strauss Institute in conflict management and negotiation. And one of the faculty from there will be teaching the negotiation class as well. And then Global Trip, we all participate in Global Trip, all of our staff, me, faculty, and students. It's usually a highlight of what we should look forward to. In the summer, we have on UW education, along with internships. Dr. Steve Gibson, our real estate development faculty, will be getting a real estate client, usually in the development area, and be doing a client-based project with them. So those are our faculty. We also have, so our Argus teacher also teaches commercial leasing, which sometimes is important, so we can do that. Or someone from commercial mortgage-backed securities to give us a more of an overall perspective on how the financing works and where does that capital stack fit in for different types of investments and portfolio. So I think we try to bring in as many people in different industries
Yeah.
to give you a full, broad understanding as possible.
Yeah. And Yusef, you've heard all the backgrounds of these faculty. You can leverage that network. What have you gained by networking with your professors and with your cohort? Because your cohort is very diverse too.
Yeah. Well, I think first of all, with the faculty, if you are kind of gauging where you want to be in the industry, they're always they give you an idea of like what to expect, and I feel like that helps a lot. But then with your cohort, since everyone has their specific things that they like within real estate, they give you kind of a flavor as to like why they like it and why you should think about it. And those types of, you don't get that going out into the world when you're sitting in a classroom with people. You're sitting with a professor and you're going over a specific topic. Everyone tries to say, okay, this is how it would work in industrial, or this is how it would work in manufactured housing. And you learn a lot that way. And those networks, a lot of them are from multiple places around the world. We have some students that are from, one that was originally from Singapore, does work in Indonesia. We have a lot of Chinese students. We have a lot of Southern California students, and we have some that are in Nevada and different parts of the States, New York as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I ever was to go to any of those areas, I know who to call and be like, yo, where should I start? What areas and who should I talk to?
What are the best restaurants?
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah, just one more thing to add. I think just the great benefit of us being in Malibu is that anyone that you can think of who succeeded in Malibu or succeeded in real estate, they live in Malibu. So they all have homes here in Malibu. So it happens to be that we have access to them. And they'll come in and speak. So that gives us sort of a special geographical advantage, I would think, in terms of getting access to the practitioners or in the industry to come in.
Dr. Park, some of these students launching are waiting for a decision. Can you tell them what kind of student you're looking for?
I think at the end of the day, all kinds of students will succeed in the field of real estate. But one thing you do need that I think that you have is just great interest in real estate. Real estate is not something you can make money just because you buy and hold and make money. Some of them do, but you make money in real estate or you succeed in real estate if you have strong interest. And you can build everything else that you need. So I would love to have a cohort of students who just love real estate, who are excited and who want to learn more. And there's going to be an opportunity for you if you're one of those in this area for sure. And you'll be able to find it. And so I think that excitement is what adds a lot to the cohort. If you're not good in this, or if you don't know about that, that can all be filled. But if you have strong interest, I think that adds a lot to what you will learn, how much you'll learn, and what you'll contribute to the program.
Yeah. Dr. Park, how do you see this program changing in the future?
So every year we have built into our program some flexibility to bring in topics and guest speakers that are relevant each year. So this year it could be more on the construction side, it could be design, more of a real estate design side, or it could be more on the zoning or planning. That's changing, or it could be like sort of the opportunity zones, which is big now in terms of where money is going to flow. And so, or it could be just real estate technology. So I think what we want to do is have some freedom to be able to bring in topics and lecturers and guest speakers who can address current issues. And I also expect our global trips to kind of change as needed, as things happen. But it's all about being practical and being ready for what's out there. Our purpose is that all of you succeed. And if you succeed, then that's what we want. And so just sort of sticking to same curriculum or whatever is not going to help you necessarily succeed. So whatever you need to succeed is what we want to provide. So that's what the curriculum should reflect at the end of the day.
Okay. I'm going to ask these guys the last question that I have. I see that some questions have already been, you guys have been chatting away.
Mhm.
Please take this time as you're listening, put some more questions in. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Mhm.
My last question for you, Youssef.
Mhm.
What was the thing you were most nervous about prior to starting this program, and how did you work through that fear?
Well, having been out of school for 4 years, it's not easy to get used to coming back and doing quizzes and projects and sitting in a classroom with a lecturer. It's different. And for me personally, it was coming back to the US after being away for so long, and committing to stay for a whole year. I was nervous doing that. But the way I worked through it is I just had an open mind. Came in, everyone was so friendly. I didn't expect it to be staff to be as friendly, and to all of the cohort to we all got along quite well.
Yeah, you do.
So I think the one piece of advice that I would give is just have an open mind and be open to everyone, and just get to know everyone. Yeah.
And you go to school once in your life, so you want to get most out of it. So
The one-year program.
one-year
It
program.
goes by very, very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah, it feels like orientation the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, all right. So now we're going to take some of the questions that the students have been asking. So please feel free to jump in, whoever, certainly. The first question is, someone's asking if I've taken grad level accounting, can this be an elective?
Yes, so you can waive out of the accounting course if you've taken a graduate level accounting course. So those 3 units of accounting core can be replaced with a different course of your choice from our business school. So yes, the answer is yes, especially accounting you can.
Yes, I think you guys are pretty flexible. Each program has their own academic advisor, and that's someone who works with you, who, as they say, their job is to help you graduate.
Yeah, and you have however, a unit requirement to graduate. So if you're going to waive out of accounting, then I encourage you to make up for those units in taking other courses and electives that's available.
Yeah. Second question is, do you help with internship placement?
So we don't guarantee you an internship, but we definitely help you get an internship. And at the end of the day, if you don't have an internship, that's the purpose of our client-based project, which is essentially an internship with an actual client. And so either one way or another, you will have an internship experience, and that's the goal. So some of them choose not to do a local internship because they want to do internship back where they're at home, which is fine. A lot of them found internships locally, which is great, but they also wanted to do the client-based project as well. So you have flexibility to do any and all of those things. So some of them, internships sometimes come along at different times. So we're also flexible as well if that happens to accommodate those students who might already have an internship or want to do it in the spring term or something like that. And so either way, if there is an internship experience, whether by your own internship or finding something through our school or through our client-based course in the summer. I've actually offered many internships and many people turn them down. So I don't know. I think it's because they have their specific things that they're interested in, which they already have internships for. So hopefully that answered that question. And also we have a small cohort. We try to limit it to one cohort, one classroom. Our classroom fits in about 25. And because of that, it's not like we have hundreds of students that need internship. So it's not a big barrier or an issue for us.
And I'm currently taking the E2B class, and it's excellent.
Yeah.
You learn a lot, and if you were to take that in place of an internship, which I'm currently doing, you get a lot out of it. So there's no worry there.
Okay. This next question is, it says that Youssef, you mentioned, what is PSA and LOI?
Oh, okay. So An LOI is a letter of intent. So it's like when you're buying a property, you'll submit a letter of intent to buy.
Okay.
And then the PSA is a purchase and sale agreement. So it's technically the agreement that you have with the property owner when you're buying a piece of property. So you go through, it's a giant contract essentially.
And you learned this in what class?
In the law class.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I was good. You're showing off what you know. It gives you a chance to.
Which is super important.
Yes.
Yeah, understanding.
We have another question here. Is there a spring start?
At the moment, we do not. It starts in the fall and ends at summer, and you graduate in the summer. So, sorry to say, we don't have a spring start. Not as of yet.
You never know what could
Never
happen.
know. What can happen.
Yeah. It looks like there's not any other questions. So I wanted to thank you all for, oh, there's another one coming in. So. Maybe there.
You won't regret it.
Yeah. There's always someone.
You will not regret it.
One last question. That's fine. Okay.
Depending on what you want to accomplish from the degree. Whether is that what you want to stay in, or is it you need further education in real estate private equity, or is it a transition into a different area? So it depends, I think.
So if someone is already been working in private equity, I think the question is, are they going to be bored? Is this too basic? Is this going to be too easy?
It could be if you want to stay in real estate private equity because it doesn't go specifically into real estate private equity for the whole year, right? So it's a component we cover, and depending on what position you're working in real estate private equity. But it will introduce you to other aspects of real estate. Usually if people don't have a master's degree in real estate, they usually know one slice of real estate industry. So if you're interested in going into some other area or wanting to learn more specifically about other sectors or other segments, it will be valuable in that aspect. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I see if you don't want to stay with one, if you know you want to stay with one thing.
Yeah, and so I think then you just stay in that lane. But if you want to actually learn more about others, it's worth coming.
Right.
Including infrastructure, right? That's important. So.
I came in with experience in Excel modeling, and I was able to pull something out of those classes, even though I already had experience in it. There's certain things that you do not know, and if you're open to learning, professors will try and teach you little things that you didn't even think were possible.
And let me just add, just in terms of price, the cost and the value for our real estate program, I just think we have the best. And so if you're planning to do a master's in real estate anywhere, then I think we have the great, the price to value ratio. So that's what I would say.
All right. We have another question.
So we go by what students have some interest in. So, and we have expertise in that area. Our board members of our business school, we have a DBA program, and I'm supervising a hospitality person as well. So it's one of the segments and sectors that you can get in, but clearly if you want to do that, you can learn about that segment. But we're not a hospitality management school like UNLV or Cornell. So we're not necessarily into the management of hospitality, but in terms of investment and finance and what that type does for you. So, like Joseph does a lot of hospitality, a lot of developments in hospitality. So you can be a developer in hospitality, but you're not.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like that's all we have. I did want to thank you guys both sincerely, and especially Yusuf. You don't have class today, and you came all this way just to be able to share your experiences. If there's any other questions that
and
pop up,
we're this good looking at our program. If you're wondering.
Oh gosh. If anyone else has any other kind of questions that come up after this, please email me. You guys all have, if you're in this webinar, you have my email. I'm the one that's been chatting for that. So please email me. Like I said, there's no such thing as a stupid question. If I don't know the answer, I'll go to Dr. Park, I'll go to USF, I'll find the answer, and we'll be able to help you make this decision. We want you to feel good about grad school. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Samantha.
Thank you so much.
you.
Bye. Bye.